Hi, all. You might have heard of the term strategy and operations, business operations, and you probably wonder, okay, what does it mean? What do they do, right? The title sounds kind of cool, fancy. Job description doesn't sound really descriptive. You're like, okay, so what does it really mean? So I am Niton. I manage a small strategy and operation team at a cybersecurity company. So here today, I am going to talk to you about two main things, right? Number one is explaining to you what it is and what we do, and then secondly, talk about what we look for typically when we recruit for these positions. So before I dive into the details, I just want to tell y'all that, right? Strategy and operations, business operations, essentially are the same thing. They're used interchangeably, and also the difference between them are actually more between companies, between different groups in a company, rather than like the roles themselves. So I'll go over the in details now. So what is it that we do? First of all, as the name suggested, right? Strategy. This is a little bit more about tactical work than strategy. So some typical projects would be around like go-to-market or like business performance, try to identify some problems and then probe to get some solutions. Secondly, it's about operations. So like for example, if somebody missed their sales target or if they want to readjust their quota, then you would support this work and try to identify some of the key adjustments. Next is analytics. This is where the fun begins, right? The sky's the limit. You would support all kind of ad hoc analysis or more organized like dashboard projects, rolling things out. So some of the key projects I did were around a dashboard, some recommendation engine, some pipeline analysis. It can also be around forecasting and predictive analytics. Next is business planning. This is the skeleton of your business, basically, right? You're going to set up the quota targets for your business for the entire fiscal year or the calendar year going forward. And lastly, we got the PMO/implementation piece. This is like the glue to tie all the other works together, right? So for example, you design a strategy, you design a really cool tool to drive business operations, but then you also need to hold workshops, you also need to train your reps in order to get the tools rolling and to ensure success of your tools. There's another variation of this type of work. If you remove business planning, then you got strategy and analytics type of role. As you have it, these are the things that strategy and operation teams typically do. So here's a caveat, right? I've seen strategy and operations title slash group that only do PMO. I've seen some teams that only do planning, or some do more analytics and strategy, right? So how do you know what it is? I would probably say you want to talk. I mean, first of all, you read the job description to learn more, and a lot of times it's very generic. Then you would go to the recruiter, and perhaps talk to the hiring manager, talking to the people in the company to find out what they do, so that you kind of know what you're signing yourself up to. All right, so that kind of covers part one of this video. Now, second part, I want to talk about what we look for, right? So first of all, you see the word strategy, and you're like, okay, well, yeah, number one, we want ex-consultants. That's pretty typical. Like, I am an ex-consultant myself, right? However, that's not really what we look for, right? If you break down the job, there are two main components. There are some strategy, storytelling, part of it. But at the same time, there's another part of the story where you actually have to get your hands dirty with data. So it requires a lot of hands-on experience, like some coding, some data analytics, trying to generate insights, trying to generate results and drive some impacts on the projects that you come up with. So sure, you can see a lot of consultants, ex-consultant in the roles, but it does not mean that you have to be consultants to be considered for the role, right? As long as you can demonstrate your ability to run some strategy work, right? Meaning like structure, framework, analytical thinking, problem solving process, and then you have some operational experience or analytics experience is a big plus, right? And obviously you can find these roles and apply for them. The role is super broad, and we want people with basically the mindset to really run the work and the skill sets to drive the data. Well, I hope you enjoy my content in some way. Please hit that like and subscribe button to follow my channel. I'm gonna be making another video to talk about the interviewing process for strategy and operations, and perhaps touch on some of the consulting, experience that I've had in the past. I talk to many students over the time, and I help out a lot of people. So I figure the better way for me to help out people more broadly is to create this YouTube channel. Hopefully y'all find it helpful and enjoy it, and use it for your recruiting and so on.